Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talking with Tech. This is obviously not Chris and Rachel. They have decided to take an episode off and invited us to take over the podcast for this week. I know you're excited to accept this invitation. It is exciting for us to give our perspective on things as an AAC user. I believe this is going to be fun for us and hopefully impactful for you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chris Klein. I am a longtime AAC user. I speak and teach about AAC and language, among other things. I am currently serving on the board of ImpAACt Voices, which we are going to share about a lot in this episode. I am joined by my friend, Lance McLemore. Lance, why don't you tell a little about yourself, what you do, and how you are connected with ImpAACt Voices?
Hello, everyone. My name is Lance, and I have been using AAC for about 12 years now. Hello everyone, my name is Lance and I have been using AAC for about 12 years now. I am a public speaker. I go to lots of conferences trying to educate people about AAC, and I'm an ambassador for PRC and the Center for AAC and Autism. I am a public speaker. I go to lots of conferences trying to educate people about AAC, and I'm an ambassador for PRC and the Center for AAC and Autism. If I remember correctly, I've been involved with ImpAACt Voices for about 2 years now, and I heard about it from Chris. I recently joined the board of ImpAACt Voices.
Thank you for sharing that. We are here to empower the voice of the AAC's user, which is at the heart of the mission and vision of ImpAACt Voices. I want to personally thank Chris and Rachel for giving Lance and I the opportunity to give a bigger voice to the AAC's user and inspire AAC users to let their voice be heard. We are really excited to share about ImpAACt Voices. ImpAACt Voices is a new nonprofit organization. Actually, we are going to be 2 years old on November 19th, I believe. What makes us really different is that all of our programs are AAC-led. ImpAACt Voices noticed AAC users rarely meet or get together with other AAC users. I know Lance and I met about 5 or 6 years ago. It was the first time Lance met an AAC user. He was an adult and he hadn't met any AAC users. Leah, a 16-year-old, never met another AAC user until she was 14. This is pretty much the experience for a lot of AAC users. This is troubling to ImpAACt Voices. This is why ImpAACt Voices decided to form. Here is ImpAACt Voices' mission. An AAC-led community that engages with and empowers AAC's users by building community, relationships, and socialization skills. We aspire to build relationships between individuals with complex communication needs in their local communities. Here is ImpAACt Voices' vision. A world that values human diversity and embraces people with complex communication needs to use augmentative and alternative communication, and for AAC users to have the quality of life in every area of society. ImpAACt Voices helps combat social isolation by having virtual hangouts, just like we are doing here tonight. We start every hangout with icebreaker questions so that everybody who comes feels comfortable. ImpAACt Voices has built a community of AAC users by holding these virtual hangouts. It has been great connecting with the stars of the AAC community. However, we have been able to connect with AAC's users from all areas. Our community continues to build, and relationships continue to grow and develop. ImpAACt Voices believes this is only the beginning of a greater movement going forward. ImpAACt Voices wants to give the AAC user a voice and help AAC users become an influence in all areas of society.
Yeah.
Lance?
Yeah.
Lance, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. I know for me personally that the isolation has been quite awful, and as Chris said, he was the first AAC user I ever met, and I think it shouldn't be that way. And since ImpAACt Voices started, I'm able to talk to other AAC users a few times a month. It's really changed things for me.
That is really awesome to hear. And well, the one thing we're working on trying to impact is the employment issue, and it is really a problem for AAC users. ImpAACt Voices has a plan to start a program called ImpAACtful Hiring. This program will be led by AAC users. This is a 3 to 5 year program to help AAC users achieve employment. ImpAACtful Hiring is going to develop an internship program. AAC users will be able to apply for internships through ImpAACt Voices and even intern with ImpAACt Voices. ImpAACt Voices plans to partner with other businesses so that we can assist AAC users to get internships with other businesses in the area the AAC user is interested. ImpAACt Voices will pay the AAC user for their internship, whether it is with ImpAACt Voices or another company. These internships will help the AAC user gain valuable experience. This is a way to build their resume and build skills that are valuable to help gain employment. It will also help educate the businesses community about the AAC community, which should lead to a better understanding of the gifts all AAC users bring to the table. ImpAACtful Hiring is also going to develop a leadership program to build leaders in the AAC community. We have several leaders here this weekend, but we need to develop more leaders so that they can continue to push forward. ImpAACtful Hiring wants to mentor up-and-coming leaders so that they can build on their leadership skills and become leaders not only in the AAC community, but in other industries. We have exciting plans, and now we need all of your support in achieving it. AAC's users, we need you to come join ImpAACt Voices and help build ImpAACtful Hiring. We want to build a community and support one another. We want to develop relationships and advocate for each other. We want the AAC user to lead the conversation. We want the AAC community to succeed and thrive in every aspect of society. ImpAACt Voices and ImpAACtful Hiring can't succeed without AAC users leading the way. And this is a great transition to talk about what ImpAACt Voices held last month.
Yes, just in case you all didn't know, in October we had our first ImpAACt Voices conference. It was really exciting to see all our work come to fruition. The focus of the conference was employment for AAC users. The unemployment rate for AAC users is very high, and it's something that Chris and I would have to deal with, and we wanted to start a conversation about it, so hopefully in the future people like us will not have to struggle so much with it. Chris, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I do. In this area of employment is so important to a person's self-esteem, among other things, that it is a problem that needs to be addressed. And I'm excited that ImpAACt Voices is stepping up and trying to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I have been going to conferences about AAC for several years, and I have noticed that nobody ever talks about employment, and they hardly ever talk about adult AAC users at all.
That is interesting, and I don't think they think about the end goal, or how can this person succeed as an adult using AAC. It makes me wonder how many children are asked about what they want to be as they grow up, and do they get a chance to dream, like Diane Bryan and Jane Odom started.
Yeah.
It's very important that people think about the future young AAC users to grow up, and people seem to forget that, and we want them to have as many opportunities as possible.
Yeah.
It's all about that equal opportunity in every area of life, which is so important to ImpAACt Voices.
The conference was October 7th and 8th. The first day was the networking and live hangout event, and for me personally, the first night was my favorite. It started around 5, I think, and for the first hour, everyone just spent time talking, and it was so much fun. And then after that, we had 2-star guest speakers, Yusun Chung and India Oaks, and I hope I said India's name correctly. Chris, what did you think about the first night?
I thought the first night was awesome, and it was my favorite night too. It was fun talking to people and meeting new people, just listening to India. And Yusun was just powerful. Hearing them saying never give up and keep going after your dream was just something I took away, and it was just empowering.
Yeah.
I agree, and it's important to hear from people who have done well even though they use AAC. I imagine it's a message that most AAC users don't get to hear often.
Yeah.
And hear it from somebody who uses AAC. Like you said, I don't think they get to hear the message often, and especially from a person that uses AAC.
I'm sure it could be life-changing for some people.
I want to acknowledge your sponsors too. We are so grateful for our sponsors who sponsored ImpAACt Voices' first Live Hangout. We had Google, Amazon, Friends Cromwich Company, Let's Roam, United Ability, a TIA, Skill Builders, and USAC. Without them, this wouldn't have been able to be put on. So we thank you, and ImpAACt Voices is excited to continue to partner with you and just make a difference.
We had a pretty diverse group of attendees. We had AAC users of different ages and levels of communication experience, parents, friends, and speech-language pathologists, among other groups. We had students who volunteered to help us too, and we really appreciated that.
On Saturday, we had 4 breakout rooms, or classrooms, that had 4 different classes in them to learn from. The classes were 50 minutes each, so everybody had a chance to pick which class they wanted to attend. After every class ended, we had a classroom focused on resumes, a classroom focusing on interviewing, a classroom focused on government assistance, and a classroom that was focused on the possibilities of AAC. Everybody loved the classes and wished they could go on to everything. Lance, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I'd like to say that I also wish that I had been able to go to everything. And it's a little silly, but on that Saturday we had a lunch, and the conversations we all had there was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also want to thank all of the facilitators that taught the classes too. They were awesome. and ImpAACt Voices really appreciated your teaching and help. So I believe we could talk about takeaways from this event for a long time. What are some of yours and some of the others that you may have talked to?
I suppose for me personally, I left the conference with some hope that I didn't really have before. We certainly talked a lot about the problems AAC users face, but also with people like India and Yusun telling their story, it showed me that yes, even though I don't communicate like everyone else, I'm not stuck in a cycle of inevitable failure.
Yeah.
That is a powerful statement, and I loved it.
Yeah.
For me, it was a step forward in talking about a problem that I believe many experts in the field try to avoid because it's a big problem. It has complex issues, so starting to talk and discuss those is so important. I came away with the hope. It doesn't stop there. It is an ongoing conversation.
After the conference was over, we sent a feedback survey to the attendees. We wanted to know what they thought about it. I would like to highlight some of the feedback that stood out to me. A speech-language pathologist said that she learned that AAC users can succeed in the workplace and not just ones made for people with special needs. An expert AAC user said they learned that it was possible for an AAC user to be happy and meaningfully employed. Chris, are there any that stood out to you?
An assistive technology expert said, I have much to learn from the AAC experts. These experts need to be the moving force in advocating for themselves and mentoring and teaching the next generation. Another AAC user parent said, there are people who have been there and done that before. We are not alone. So we have great feedback and we are hoping that it helps move this forward. Do you have any more?
There is one other comment that stood out. An AT specialist said she had seen AAC users at conferences before, but they were spread out, but not like ours. We were all together talking, and in my experience, that is something pretty unique.
And I want to jump in here and just talk a little about Bruce Baker and Jane Odom. I know both of them would have been so proud of this event. Bruce created the Pittsburgh Employment Conference, and while we did a lot of other stuff differently, it did remind me of that conference because AAC's users were all together and were leading it, and Jane was all about empowering AAC users to dream big and also shoot for the stars, so she would have loved this event.
I believe they would have loved it too.
Yeah.
Is there anything we would do differently next time? The answer is yes, because you are always learning when you are doing something the first time, and we have some suggestions from the people who were there. Also from the roundtable discussion that we had at the end of the conference. So the answer is yes, we are going to do some things differently. I don't think we have specifics yet, unless you do, Lance. Is there anything we would do differently?
That's a hard question to answer. I think overall it went pretty well, but there is always room for improvement, and we are going to listen to all the feedback and the discussions from the round table, and I believe our next one will be even better.
Speaking of the next 2-1, ImpAACt Voices does plan to have another one of these live hangouts. However, we need you to come and be a part of our team. We need a bigger team so that we can improve on our next live hangout. In celebration, ImpAACt Voices wants this to be a regular thing, but we need a bigger team to make it happen. And also we need funding. So you are willing to donate to ImpAACt Voices too. We would love your help in any way. And AAC users, we would love to have you join us and be a part of this incredible team and organization.
That's very well said, Chris.
Yeah.
If anybody wants more information about ImpAACt Voices, or if they want to donate, or if they are interested in helping out with our next conference, they can go to our website. It's www.impactvoices.org. That's ImpAACtVoices. That's ImpAACtVoices. And I also want to remind people that we have hangouts every month, and if there are any AAC users out there, please consider joining those. We have lots of fun.
And for any AAC users listening to this, it is time to let your voice be heard. We believe the AAC community needs to be leading the community and just letting people know what we want and expect. Is there anything else you want to say, Lance?
If there is one thing I learned through all this, it's that AAC users have to take control and speak for themselves. We are the experts on ourselves, and we cannot continue to let other people speak for us.
That is well said.
I think that's probably a good point to end on. What do you think?
Lance, thank you for everything. And I want to thank Chris and Rachel again for inviting the two of us to do this. This was really fun, and I hope you enjoyed listening to us. Thank you for listening to this episode of Talking with Tech.